All right, the next album that I wanted to talk about that was also left off the RCA albums box set, which I don't know if this one necessarily needed to stay off. But I guess I can kind of understand because a lot of them are still sort of rehashed movie songs that appeared elsewhere, but not nearly as many. So it's Separate Ways, which we talked about on an episode of TCB Cast again, where we were talking about album cover artwork. I actually really like this album cover. It actually has a good, it's not like, again, we're not breaking any, crazy, great, we're not winning awards on this one. But it at least shows a level of creativity. Having him on this road, this highway, it makes you think that there's going to be something in here. There's not, but it's all right. We got Separate Ways on side A, which was the big single, and then on side B, you've got Always on My Mind, which, as it turns out, has actually turned out to be the way bigger hit than Separate Ways ever was in terms of memorability, in terms of being associated with Elvis. Mark James is Always on My Mind is an absolutely strong hit. But on the rest of side A, you've got Sentimental Me, which had appeared on Something for Everybody. In My Way from Wild in the Country, which is this really pretty, acoustic ballad that Elvis does in Wild in the Country, which I never finished that review. I wrote the script, I recorded part of it, and then I never finished. Sorry about that, guys. We'll do it on TCB Cast one of these days. We'll review Wild in the Country. I actually do like that movie quite a bit. I found out at the time watching it. I found my notes actually a while back. I had crashed my computer hard drive at the time, and thankfully I had most everything backed up from around that time, but I did lose my my Blue Suede reviews notes for Wild in the Country, and I was able to recover them, and just reading through it, kind of what thoughts I had was interesting. Speaking of Wild in the Country songs, I Slipped, I Stumbled, I Fell is on side B, but also on side A you've got I Met Her Today, and What Now, What Next, Where To. And then, like I said, on side B, you've got Always on My Mind, I Slipped, I Stumbled, I Fell, Is It So Strange, Forget Me Never, which was recorded for Wild in the Country, but it didn't actually appear in the movie, and then Old Shep. This is not a bad album. Like, it's pretty low key, which I gotta give it credit for. It feels, even though it's really not consistent, it feels like it could be consistent. Like, there's at least a tone that's set. Like, Elvis sounds different when you jump from Separate Ways to Sentimental Me, or Always on My Mind to I Slipped, I Stumbled, I Fell. But this has always struck me as a much more low key album. It's more ballads. It's more reflective type songs. It's not these loud, brassy, crazy movie songs like, Long-Legged Girl with a Short Dress On, or Old MacDonald Had a Farm, or Down by the Riverside. It's not that. There's really, I'm sitting here looking at it and I'm like, what are the most upbeat songs on here? Like, What Now, What Next, Where To? I Slipped, I Stumbled, I Fell. If those are the hardest hitting songs you've got on an Elvis release, that just goes to show that, like, they weren't necessarily going for something here, but I think they accidentally slipped into something here. So yeah, it's not bad. If you get a chance, if you find this online, or if you just want to put together a playlist on YouTube or on Spotify or Amazon Music or wherever you stream music or whatever, put these together and see how it sounds, because it has a nice feel. I actually do like this. I kind of do wish they had included it in the box set. So, yeah, that's a thing.